Let's get into The Last of Us, man. I think it's that time, my boy.
Oh man.
I think it's that time, man. The Last of Us. And I'm mad. I wish Marz was here for the topic because if you're a long time listener, first time listener, you heard Mars promoting this shit back when he was talking about playing the video game. They made the remake to the original for the PS5. He
Yeah.
came on here raving about it, and then he let us know, they making this shit into a series. This was a while ago, and I mean this is early on when we started the pod. So full circle, the actual series is on HBO now. The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into it, my boy. Where you want to start? From the beginning? The open. I mean, I watched it twice, so I got context and
I guess we could
and
uh yeah, start from the beginning. Why not?
all right. So like I said, I wish Mars was here because he could give us a little bit more insight. But when he comes back next week after he finished with Biden, and we'll get a little bit more insight from him because he actually played the game, so he knows a little bit extra than we might know. But I mean, of course, Last of Us it starts. I paid attention to all the dates and shit. It starts 1968. You know what I mean? It's starting with a bunch of scientists on this. Looks like a talk show type thing. Looks like it's supposed to be Jimmy Carson type, like a type show. Look like it's supposed to be Carson or something like that. So they sitting there. They discussing they discussing science stuff. They discussing potential pandemics, and they start getting into this new virus that's in Madagascar. You know what I mean? It's takes over the host. Is like a parasite. It takes over the no. It's actually a fungi. He says because they start comparing like what could actually host in humans, and he was like, "Yo, it's a fungi. It takes control of the mind." He gives the example of an ant, and the other guy was like, "Well, humans. It's impossible for it to be a thing for humans because the host can't exist over like 94 degrees." Then he's like, yeah, but what if it adapts? What if the earth starts getting warmer and the fungi is forced to adapt? So this is nice foreshadowing for us to know. And like I said, not knowing playing the game, not knowing if they give you this insight before you even play the game to know this, it was definitely good to understand that at the beginning. You know what I mean? Just knowing, yo, this is a possibility of like, yo, this is a pandemic that could happen. Could be this fungi that could adapt to humans. And how it works is the parasite gets into your brain. It controls you. It doesn't aim to kill you. It aims to control. And after time, because of the way it operates, it starts eating away at your flesh, and it becomes eventually you turn into the ant, but it's really just controlling you. So you're a zombie at this point. You know what I'm saying? So
All right.
cuts from there, boom, fast forward, it goes to 2003 now. I mean, and then I thought this was very important, and feel free to jump in anywhere, bro, with whatever like type shit, because I
Oh
got
yeah.
I got notes and shit. But at this point, it's important. They show us next scene immediately when it goes to that present day, 2003. We're following this story from the point of view of the daughter. You know what I mean? The daughter is the person who we see first. It shows her waking up out of bed. The alarm goes off. She goes to wake her dad up, Joel. You know what I mean? So now we're following the story based off of the daughter and the father now. You know what I mean? They're typical family shit. She wakes up. She's making breakfast for the both of them. Uh, Hold on real quick. Or she's making breakfast for the both of them. And I'll probably get into this shit after. Well, actually, I'll get to that point afterward. But they doing the regular family shit. The brother comes over, her uncle, and they're just living a regular family life. It appears, but in the background, you notice on the news they're talking about there's a continued disturbances in Dakar, and they're like Dakar, and then you find out, oh, this is the capital of Indonesia. But it really has no context of what this story is telling. You're just hearing news reports on the background. It's the dad's birthday, Joel. They call him Joel, but anytime I see Joel, I think it's Joel. So I'm just gonna say Joel. Cause I don't know about no Joel. That shit is his nigga
Yeah.
name is Joel, bro.
Oh,
But it's his birthday, so the daughter is telling him, "Hey man, she want to make pancakes for his birthday, but they ain't got no pancake batter. They ain't got no flour." And then they're sitting there eating breakfast now. The brother comes in. He's like, "Hey, you're still alive, you old fucker." I thought that was a fucking funny ass way for siblings to tell each other happy birthday. Hey, you still alive, you old bitch. That shit was funny as hell. So they work together. They got some kind of company. It looks like they do construction. And fast forward a little bit more. They finish breakfast. They're getting ready to leave. And this is the instance where we see other characters introduced. You know what I mean? They got the neighbors, some old people. The daughter starts. They start talking it up with the neighbors and shit. The neighbors like, oh yeah, like you guys can come over to have biscuits. We made biscuits, and then what I mean. This is a little banter. It ain't much there yet. You see, as the car pulls off, you see an Operation Desert Storm sticker on the bumper and shit. So you're like, oh shit, this nigga was in the army. So you piecing the story together as it's going on. You know what I'm saying? For me, who first time I don't know much about the story. I ain't played the game. This is shit I'm picking up on. Like, all right, why are they telling us that? Why are they making this shit known? So she's in school now. It shows the daughter in school. And I think it's important that they're showing everything from her perspective. Remember that. That shit is like key to how this episode plays out. They're giving us everything from her point of view, which is, you know what I mean? You gaining familiarity with this character. They're telling it from her point of view, so you get attached. You know what I mean? Like subconsciously. You don't know, but you're following this character. You get attached. You know what I'm saying? So she's in school and I forget what happens, but she ends up leaving school and she's going to this watch shop to pick up a watch for her dad's birthday. It's like a watch that he had already apparently, and she's wanting to get it fixed. She takes it there, and immediately this is where the shit start picking up. You start realizing, all right, shit about to go down. You know what I mean? She's in there, the shop owner's there, he's talking to her, he's fixing the watch. And then out of nowhere, you're still hearing news stories going on in the background. You're hearing news. You're seeing cops flying by the outside and shit. So then I don't know if this is his wife or whoever. It appears to be his wife. And you see her come in panicking, like, yo, you should go home, little girl. And she's like, yo, wait, I'm waiting on my watch. And the husband is still like, yo, the watch is almost done. I'm almost finished. And she's like, no, you need to go. You need to get up out of here. So he finishes the watch and gives it to her. And this is a point that I missed at the beginning, but when I watched it the second time, those people were from Lebanon, from Lebanon. Like that shop, it was like a Lebanese owners. So for me, I'm like, all right, I'm not a geographer. I don't know geography or nothing like that. But I'm like, okay, Dakar, Indonesia, Lebanon. I could be ignorant, and please, I didn't do the research to look geographically. But I'm assuming that these are places near each other. So this is indicating she got the news early. You know what I mean? She got this news early. So little girl, she leaves. You know what I mean? She leaves the crib. And then now she stops by the neighbor's crib after school. Like she said she would. The dad told her, yeah, she's coming over after school. So they're there. She goes, and the neighbor's making cookies and banter, blah blah blah. She's making biscuits on some old lady being nice. Oh, you want some dog? You want some this? You want some that? But then we get the first indicator of the older woman in the wheelchair. She's like bugging out. You know what I mean? The background is blurred out. They don't
She's
really
not
show it.
even. Yeah, but yeah. Like when she's looking at her, she's regular. Like she's just sitting there. Like
Yeah, she's just chilling. And the lady is like she's in a wheelchair, so she's not really mobile. So they're giving you the perception of like this is a really old woman who needs to be taken care of. I mean, earlier on they showing people feeding her and shit. So they showing like, all right, she don't really move on her own.
she ain't saying nothing.
Nothing. But go ahead on that. She's sitting there. We see in the background she's blurred, but you see her kind of like tweaking. She moving
Weekend,
funny,
bro.
like her head and like mad. Like you like, all right, something is up.
Like her face was like warping or something. Like what? Like she was turning into something. Like
Hmm. And then we see the dog. You know what I mean? The dog is looking at her like, yo, bitch, what the fuck? I seen that shit you just did. What the fuck is going on with you? Animals are
yeah,
always the first to pick up on shit. You know what I
hell
mean?
yeah.
And you know what I mean? In the news, of course, we get more news in the background. News reports about random acts of violence that's just happening. You know what I mean? Random acts of violence that's just popping up all over the world. Like, what the fuck? And then shit hits the fan. You know what I mean? She goes home. And what happens? I believe she goes home. The dad comes back from work real late. super late, and she's like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna be here earlier. It's your birthday." And he's like, "Yeah, I know. Like, we could watch the show that we like to watch." So they sit down, they're watching the show. She falls asleep. Still news going on in the back. You know what I mean? Mad news going on in the back. She falls asleep. He go puts her in the bed, and this is where the shit really kicks off. She falls asleep, and mind you, they're telling the story from her point of view. So she wakes up, and shit is just eerie now. She's hearing a I forget what wakes her up. If it's like the dog barking, but shit hits the fan at this point. She wakes up, there's nobody in the crib. Oh wait, I don't even think the dad came home yet. I forget what happens, but she goes to sleep and wakes up, and the dad isn't. Oh, this is what happens. Okay, I remember. As they're watching the movie, and she falls asleep, the brother calls him like, "Hey, man, I'm in jail. You got to come get me." And Joel's like, "What the fuck, bro? Why you in jail?" He calls. He's telling them like, "Yo, bro, I was at a bar. Some nigga started bugging out. And he started wilding on the bartender. So I had to put him out. Like I had to knock this nigga out. I had to put him down, bro." So that's how he ends up in jail, and that's how Joel ends up leaving the crib again. He goes to go get his brother. She wakes up and shit is hitting the fan. Now the neighbor's dog is there, banging like scratching on the window, and she's oblivious. She's walking around like, "Oh my god, what's going on? Huh?" Like, bitch, don't you see like something is up? It's fucking going down outside. Have some fucking awareness. So she goes outside, starts wandering around. She sees the dog belongs to the neighbor. The dog is outside, just wanting to be around her. So she walks over to the neighbor's crib, and what do you see? Blood all over the floor and shit. Then you
Mm-hmm.
see the old lady who was tweaking. She's fucking eating the fucking face. She's eating the face of the woman that was there. Like, I don't know if it was her daughter, but she's eating that bitch's face, boy.
Bitch was sucking her face.
Bro, literally, bro. She had fucking ligaments and tendons in her mouth and shit. It was crazy.
And what the girl do? She sat there and looked at her.
She walks in more. She's like, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my god! And then even more so, the old lady starts like about to charge her. She gets up, looks over at her, and starts running at the little girl. And the little girl is still like, yo,
Ain't
what do I do?
much. Yeah, ain't much urgency kick in yet. They ain't no adrenaline, nothing. She was just sitting there.
Crazy, bro. And
That part was hilarious.
hilarious, bro. It's just like, yo, what they they wrote this girl's character to be an idiot. But
Yeah, apparently.
you know, fast forward, the dad comes back as this is happening, and the little as the old lady is charging the little girl, the dad pops her in the face with like a wrench. And what the fuck does she say? Oh my god, you killed her. It's like,
Yeah.
yo, bitch, did you not see her sprinting towards you covered in blood after she just ate a nigga face? What you mean I killed her? I'd kill her again if I had a chance. Fuck you mean?
Every
Oh my god, you killed her. Bitch. That shit pissed me off both times I watched it, bro. Oh my god, you killed her. Oh man. So now they going through which they going through. They in the car. They showing you the first person point of view, and this is where it gets cool. As I was watching, and as like it aired, and all the content came out afterward. It was showing like I seen a bunch of like side by side comparisons of the video game and the show of like perfectly split images of what it was supposed to look like. Even the way the camera was moving. You know what I mean? It was just amazing, bro. That shit was fire.
Yeah, that shit looked like uh the movie for the Doom game.
Word with the Rock.
Yeah, that shit
Yeah,
reminded me of that.
definitely. That first person, like it looks like you're playing a video game, but
Yeah.
yeah, that shit was heat. So they going through now. They realize there's some shit going on, like panic in the streets. Fucking old women are eating people's faces. They know something is up at this point, so they trying to get out of the fucking town. Let's get the fuck up out of here. So
Hmm.
they get to a certain area. They realize, oh shit, it's people in the street. We can't run them over. We got to get up out of here. So they start backing up. They go to another way. And as they're trying to get away from these people and they're not trying to run them over, you just see a chopper fly over. It's and it started shooting missiles, boy. Bang, 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 bang. This was bombs over Baghdad, my boy. Like,
Yeah.
they started fucking shit up. So now they panic and they driving, trying to get on the road, and they realize, damn, this is everybody's trying to leave. So it's traffic now. They end up off the road now because they in a pickup truck. They off road in the grass. Fast forward, they end up crashing. They end up out of the vehicle because they exploded or some shit. All of this is just amazing, man. Cinematography is amazing. Like the writing is great. Outside of Shorty saying, "Oh my God, you killed her." Everything is good, and this is the point where the shit get like I was saying. It's interesting that they gave you the point of view of this little girl, and made you build familiarity and gain like I mean, you started to like her just because this is the only person you were seeing. So now we got a scenario where it's the dad and the little girl. She sprained her ankle, so she can't walk. He's carrying her, trying to get out of Dodge, and they run into like this military guy. I don't know what they're called. I don't know the name because they might have mentioned it, but I didn't pick up on it. That's why I wish Nerd was here. He could have probably told us. But anyway, he's basically like, "Yo, stop right there. Where the fuck are you going?" And they're trying to tell him, "Yo, we're not sick. We're not zombies. Like we're okay. We didn't get bitten. We're all right. We're regular. We just need help." So on the radio, you hear him saying, "Yo, I got two. One is injured. You know what I mean? Blah blah blah." He's telling his command officer or whatever what's going on, and then they tell him something we can't hear, and he reacts like, "What? Say, come again?" And at that moment, oh damn. So we see him get off the phone. I mean, he get off his walkie-talkie and he ups the gun at them niggas like, "Yo." And then from there, we like, "Oh shit, what the fuck?" He ups the gun on them. He tell them to get down or whatever. And he's like, "Yo, we just need help." Joel's like, "Yo, we just need help. We need help." And then, pop, 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 that nigga starts spraying. It don't show nobody get hit, but then you see the daughter and Joel rolling down this mountain, this hill that they're on, and they fucking fall to the floor. There, I mean, the guy's coming over them. The military guy. What do you call him? A soldier. The soldier is walking over them with the knocks. He's standing over him at this point. And out of nowhere, he gets sniped. The brother shoots him, and then we see that the little girl has got fucking full of holes, bro. She got popped up. And
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, damn, bro. They did us dirty. They made us start liking this little girl in the first episode. This for her to get killed. Damn, they dirty for that.
Yeah, that was wicked.
Yeah, they was cutting onions during that, so I ain't gonna front. I was like, yo, damn. And then from there, we see 20 years later, which it goes to 2023, which is present day. Great
Yeah.
fucking
That,
show, man. I didn't even give up everything else, but I mean,
I
shit, bro.
think
What do
that
you
part,
think?
how they start, I love how they started it, because it was like it was almost like it was like a cliffhanger, but they didn't leave you there.
Yeah, it was
They,
like they
like
could
they
have
left
ended
you
the
there.
episode there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
It
I,
was
I
hard.
like that. I like that point you said. It was a cliffhanger because they extended it 20 years in the future,
Hmm.
but they don't explain. Like once the next scene we see, we don't really get any clarification of like it's clear that she's dead, but we didn't get any clarification of what transpired after that.
Right.
But
It goes into like
where
what
he's at now,
yeah, yeah.
Joel. Shout out to my man Pedro Pascal. He plays Joel Miller. You know what I mean? Shout out to bro.
Seems like he's smoking his role too, man.
Yo, he's killing this role, bro.
I
Like,
love I love the set, the scene, the graphics, the production, everything, bro. Like shit just looks like a fucking shit look like a virtual reality world or something. Like
the metaverse or something. Nah,
oh,
they
it really looked like the end of the world. Like look apocalyptic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everything just went to shit.
they did it. They did it the right way, man. They did it the right way. And then even after that, after everything I just explained, after we just went through, there's still like another 35 minutes of the show left. Like 40 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, writers and producers from Walking Dead, you guys should watch this.
Oh man, let's not even get on the Walking Dead. I used to be my shit until it wasn't anymore.
Yeah, after like season 2.
It was pretty early. It
It
was early. It was pretty early on in the show where it was like, all right, what the fuck are y'all doing?
just started getting to the point where it's like, my nigga, where y'all niggas getting baby food from? Like, bro, now you're not
They having new
pushing it.
babies.
And then you having more babies. Like, where y'all finding all this extra fucking
Healthy babies too. Birth during the apocalypse with no
right?
hospitals, no, know what I mean? No nurse practitioner. Just giving
Goddamn,
birth in the woods. Healthy
we might
baby.
we might as well all just go back to the Stone Age, huh?
That shit was cool, man. But shout out to The Last of Us. We will be discussing this shit every episode. So go ahead and strap in, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be talking about this shit every motherfucking week. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to even in a post apocalyptic zombie world, it's still niggas selling drugs. You know what I mean? That was an interesting part of the shit too, because Joel, he made friends with this one of the soldiers. I forget how, and he's dealing them drugs basically. He's basically dealing drugs to a bunch of people, to the soldiers, so he get info and know when not to be on the streets. You know what I mean? He gave the soldier that, I think he gave him some weed or some shit. No, he got the weed from the soldier. I'm actually, which was for a whole other play that he was setting up. But the soldier told him, yo, for the next few days, don't come outside, man. Shit about to get fucked up. Stay your ass in the crib. Don't bring your ass back out here. And then we see Joel go to, I don't know who homie is, but he's like a dude that is getting radio messages from, I guess, different places around the world. So he got a line full of people that's waiting to see him. Joel just skips the line, walks up in the spot. And basically he goes and gives the weed to the homie, to the dude that's giving all this news, because he probably know him or whatever. And he lets him know he basically got the weed so he could give him information about his brother if his brother's still alive. Shit's pretty good, man.
Man,
Powerful scene, man. That scene where he's like, "Yo, well, I'm sure your brother's alive, man." And he's like, "All right, you sure he's alive? All right, show me a map of where he could be." And the guy, the radio man, is like, "I don't know, man. It's the least of your worries are these zombies. Like, it's slavers out there, it's this out there, all this shit going on." So Joel tells him, "Oh, and you sure my brother's okay?" Like, oh yeah, nigga, you trying to get me up? Like, nah, like this is fucking powerful, bro. I love this fucking show, and I only see one episode, nigga. I'm on board, man. I'm on board, bro. I'm on board, bro. What do you think? What do you think is since we ain't got Marz here to really kind of outline what does happen, or I mean, give us some insight. Where do you see this shit going, man? Like,
ah, man, to be honest with you, uh, I didn't want to spoil it too much for myself, so I didn't tap too much into like the video game too behind that started from. But uh, I I'm getting Resident Evil, Dawn of the Dead. Uh, uh, it's one more thing I'm missing. It's one more movie I'm missing.
Dawn of the Dead, Resident Evil, 28 Days Later.
Yeah, that's the movie. Oh my god, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, yep.
Right
Because
on the
these are
money.
like fast moving zombies. This ain't no slow like shit. These
Right,
zombies are, and this is the thing. Like they're not zombies. Like I think that was why the beginning scene was so important, because they're basically explaining what's happening. They're letting you know that this all started with a parasite that no a fungi that evolved to where now they're controlling the host. They're controlling the person that they're actually, you know what I mean, who's the current turning into this zombie, but not zombie in the sense of slow undead. They're still
mm,
alive, but they're being controlled by something else.
right.
So I thought that was cool. This was something that I've picked up on before we move on. Just watching on the internet, seeing different people's theories and shit. And there's a lot of them out there. That's why next week we're gonna have our resident podcaster we're gonna have Marz on here to give his insight and his backstory about it. But a couple of videos I seen with them explaining something called the bread theory. So they're basically saying uh Indonesia was the area where this shit started, and that was the importance of why they discussed it early on in the video, because this is where that parasite lived. I mean, early on in the series, they were saying the bread is what caused this pandemic. Because if you remember, he mentioned like, Indonesia, and then later on when it cuts from that scene, it shows them wanting to make pancakes, but they didn't have the flour to make the pancakes. You know what I mean? Which would have been the first indicator of, oh shit, they almost got infected. Then second scene where they go outside and the woman is offering them biscuits. Again, they're like, nah, we good. And then we see, fast forward, they got infected. And then
Uh,
Indonesia, they talking about, this is where I was saying when he went to the shop, when she went to the shop to get the watch, the Lebanese people, they must have got word because they knew it was close to Indonesia or whatever. They must have known, like, oh, the bread is bad. So that's why she was panicking, like, yo, we got to get the fuck up out of here. There's some shit going on the other side of the world. There's some shit going down. We got to get up out of here. So it was like, it's connections people are trying to make to, oh, maybe it was the bread. Maybe the parasite got into the bread. So that's why people, if you're just eating bread in your regular day, you know what I mean? And that's why when homie was at the bar, the brother was like, yo, somebody started wilding out on the bartender. I had to put him down. Maybe I don't remember what he said specifically, or maybe he might have indicated like, yo. But then you think about it, you're thinking about beer is yeast and shit in beer and wheat. Like it could be bread and that shit too. Like it could be. It's just following that theory. I want to see if they touch on it anymore, or if that's an actual thing. Like in the actual video game, if they eventually start touching on that, like, oh, it came from the bread. I thought that shit was pretty cool, man. Great show.
yeah. I'm tuned in, man.
Great show.
Still on your block, you niggas know what it is, homie. The fifth on me, I smear bullets at your rail, homie. Put a stack up, or call for backup. It's still HBU, heartbreak, or get cracked up. Money I chase, fuck clearing it out the bank. My niggas run up and chase, duck, take the stab, get the cash, till we escape. Agree with me? If you don't, then go some balls, nigga. Focus on what you got, never dwell on your loss, nigga. Life is hard for a young black man selling drugs. Fuck a hoe just because.